Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Talk with Coach. I'm your host, Becca Goldsberry, sales and leadership coach with Southwestern Consulting. This podcast is all about learning from the best in the business, those who have walked the walk and are ready to share their journeys, lessons, and hard earned wisdom. We're about to discover some invaluable tips that could transform your business or leadership journey. So buckle up and get ready for another episode of Talk with Coach. Today, I have the privilege to have Kaitlyn Hodges on with us today. And we have the pleasure of connecting through a friend of ours, Amy Farrow, who has been on the podcast before. And I can't wait for Kaitlyn to share her expertise with you guys. Kaitlyn brings 9 years of dynamic experience in the marketing industry as her role as vice president at Collective Alternative here in Indianapolis. She has a proven track record of driving growth and innovation. She leads the marketing team with a strategic vision and unwavering commitment to excellence. Through her roles at Collective Alternative, she has been able to grow various skills, enhance strategic thinking, and work hand in hand with her team to implement and execute innovative and successful projects. She's been able to create many relationships with the media vendors and works hard to find the right formula and amplifies her clients' messages while bringing maximum results. Most importantly, she is committed to building relationships with every client and she loves helping them achieve their goals and grow their business. Her and I had a conversation yesterday, and you can definitely tell that is the heart. And that is one of the things that I love most about Kaitlyn is her heart to serve her team, the heart to really grow and expand Collective Alternative, and being able and wanting to serve her clients to the best of their ability. So, Kaitlyn, welcome back to Talk with Coach.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited that you're with us today. So, all right, fill us in on exactly what Collective Alternative does for your clients.
Yeah, so we are a full service marketing agency, but our focus is strategy first. So anytime a client comes to us or prospect comes to us and they have an issue that's happening, or maybe it's an objective that they want to reach, but they just don't know how to reach it, we always have those ideas of what kind of tactics we can use, but we first start with a strategy so that we make sure what we're doing is going to get them to that goal or fix the issue that they're having, whether that be brand or lead gen, what have you. But with those pieces, then we create that strategy so the client is on the same page and then our team is also on the same page. So it's very consistent. And then from there, we create those tactics. And or we could even hand that strategy off to the client if they have an internal marketing team. So we work with both companies that have an internal marketing team or companies that don't have anybody in-house that can do those pieces. And then we just become that marketing department.
Gotcha. So, all right, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What is the most fun event, marketing plan, crazy, thing project that you guys have worked on?
Um, so I'm sure there's been other projects, but like top of mind is a project that we're working on right now. We work with the Builders Association and they are putting on a newer event for this year. And it was a last kind of minute decision to switch over the kind of event that we were having. And it's been an all hands on deck, get the builder set up, find vendors, find sponsors. Um, and it is kicking off in a few days. But with that comes a lot of work because it was a last minute decision to switch it. So it's been all hands on deck. People are calling sponsors. We're putting together pieces that should have normally already been put together. So
Okay.
moving at the speed of light for something that is coming very, very soon. Not something that we can't do, but it's a lot to get done in a very short amount of time.
All right, very cool. See, you guys are very agile, right? Very flexible.
Nimble.
Client, right? You got to be.
Yes, you have to be. And that was the thing. They had an event previously, but it had never really came to what they wanted it to be.
Mm,
So we were tasked with thinking through maybe a different
mm.
idea or what can we do to really spice up that event. And that is something that our owner, Amanda, she is amazing at. She puts that strategy together, came up with this plan, and was like, I think we should try doing this. And it was well received in the building industry. They were very excited. It got more people involved in the association. And since then, it's just been getting all those people involved that wanted to be involved here, finding others that would be interested. Um, we're even getting like local restaurants and coffee shops integrated this time around. So things that we've never done before is all happening just with that little, hey, let's think of something new. And this big plan of hers came together and now we're just executing on it.
That's awesome. How
Yeah.
fun. I was gonna say your career must keep you on your toes at all times.
You never have a very boring day.
I can only
Things
imagine.
are always moving, and if it's not a client, then, Meta decides, "Hey, I'm gonna change how we do ads," or this new cool trend on social media is happening, or we have
Mhm.
to learn something new for one of our softwares. So it's always an evolving
You know,
task.
and I think that is something you hit on something there, because I think that is something that anybody who does any type of social media for their
Ooh,
business, they're like, "Oh my goodness, the algorithm just changed. What in the world?"
yes.
Now nobody's seen anything that we're doing, right? And so they're figuring out and Googling and, hopping on YouTube on how to work through this new algorithm, right? That Meta and those guys just did.
Oh,
Because we're
Meta and Google love to keep us on our toes.
right? They do it
Love
all
to
the
keep
time.
us on our toes.
Yes. So you've been in the marketing industry for 9 years. What are some of the defining moments that have shaped your path?
So I have a very interesting story because I did not go to school for marketing. I went to school for health service management. I had met Amanda at one of her clients, and I was leaving that client because I was getting into my last semester of school. We had created a relationship as I was there, and she wanted to know what I was doing that last semester. And I said, I have no idea. What I want to do is not available for me right now, but I would like to figure something out. And she was like, well, what are you going to do for your last semester for work? And I said, again, I have no idea. I might just go back to what I was doing previously. And she said,
Yeah.
well, why don't you call me? That call obviously changed my whole trajectory of life. Never would I have imagined 9 years ago if somebody were to tell me I'd be a VP of a marketing agency, I'd be like, yeah, okay, sure.
Right.
Or even at this point closer to ownership, I'd be like, yeah, I highly doubt it. But that one phone call changed that. And then, I mean, through my 9 years here, I've had multiple different positions, but through all of those, I learned all those pieces and having an boss who makes sure that she pushes you outside your comfort zone, but knows to know that she's there if I need her. And when I need her, she's always there.
Right.
But helping me grow enough to be confident enough to be in something that I didn't go to school for and give me the confidence to then take over one day. I think all of those little nuggets in my 9 years has really gotten me to where I am. It gives me the confidence that I can help other small businesses. And I try to on the daily basis. I mean, I am in sales, so having those conversations, learning those pain points, and then helping them find a solution, even if it's not us.
Right.
We offer that free strategy consultation, so even if it's just brainstorming,
Yeah.
we we want you to take something away from us, even if it's not necessarily using us right then and there.
I love that because we do the same similar thing with Southwestern, right? Everybody needs a coach. It may
Yeah,
not be us at Southwestern, but as long as somebody goes gets a coach, that's amazing. Like, go do it, right? Because not every anybody who needs marketing should work with you guys and vice versa. It's got to be a fit for both people,
right.
right? So I love that philosophy because to me, that's true servant leadership and
Mhm.
servant selling and servant customer care and just really doing what's best for the client ultimately.
Oh, yeah. And Amanda's instilled in me, like, leaving people better than we found them.
Mm,
So that is our philosophy. We leave people better than we found them, whether it's employees, whether it's clients. If we can help in whatever way possible, that's what our goal is.
right? So, from your years of experience, what's the most powerful lesson that you've learned about growing and sustaining a successful business?
Marketing specifically,
Yeah.
we are not surgeons. We're not operating on arms and legs. If a mistake happens, we fix it, we rectify it, we're transparent with our clients.
Uh,
But if something ends up not happening, it's okay. If you're not perfect at what you're doing right at the moment, that's okay as long as you're learning from it and we're being transparent with our clients. I was always so hard on myself at the beginning. And I would say, even in my transition as my new roles are coming, I am very hard on myself because I think I have to be perfect right now.
mm,
And if I'm not, people will think differently, but it's not true. Everybody else gives me grace. I'm the worst one to give myself grace. So making sure, and Amanda and my team help remind me all the time that it's not arms and legs. We you can give yourself grace. People are going to give you grace. You just have to be open and honest, and you don't have to do everything yourself. So that is probably my biggest. I'm still learning it, but
yeah,
it's been taught to me in my 9 years. So, obviously, it hasn't quite stuck yet, but I feel like I'm getting better at it.
right. How do you give yourself grace, Caitlin?
That is a very hard.
Okay.
I try to, like, in my times of, like, stress and, like, I'm not getting anything done for anybody, I try to remember, like they tell me, it's not arms and legs, prioritizing myself,
Mhm.
prioritizing what needs to be done, but we've always said, like, if we don't take care of ourselves, how are we gonna take care of our clients? How are we gonna take care of our employees? So
Yeah,
making sure that when I am prioritizing things, that I'm looking at what needs done now rather than just looking at the entire 50 things on my list that need to be done and saying that's okay to look at that and not have to look at the other 50 things. Nobody's gonna be mad that I'm prioritizing.
right. So, you and I've talked about it before, and it's one of the hardest things that leaders cannot give up a lot of times, and it's control because that means to get these tasks done, right? There's no I in team,
Mm-mm.
but the art of delegation, right? It's and something that we always kind of work with our clients on, it's called the 30X rule. I don't know if you've ever heard it before, but it's basically, if there's a 5-minute task that you do on a daily basis, like once or twice, and it needs to be delegated because it's something somebody else can do on the team, you should be comfortable in teaching that 5-minute task, you know, 30X. So 30 times 5 is okay, I can spend an hour, 2.5 hours training somebody on how to do a 5-minute task, and somebody, I've had leaders go, "That is asinine. That is, like, the craziest thing you have ever told me before, ever." And I'm like, "But if you do it once and you do it well, it's
Mhm.
save you." It's like, if I calculate, I can't remember exactly, it's like, 1,150 minutes throughout the year, if you do it, like, twice, twice a day, that one task, like, twice a day. And so that's like a 750% ROTI, return on time invested, right? So it's like that art of delegation, but we got to train our team to do it the right way the first time. And like, it's hard for leaders, like logistically and mentally tough,
Yeah,
you know?
I
So
would have to agree.
Yeah, and because we know business is never smooth sailing, what is one of the biggest challenges that you guys face, and how'd you guys overcome it?
I would say probably our biggest was finding the right team
Mm,
to help support us.
yeah,
I think that was the hardest part is finding the right people who fit that culture, who are hungry. We always say that we want them hungry, want them humble, but finding those people who have those values and then also making sure that they have that skill set. Skills can be taught, but that hungry, humble, transparent, honest, those are things you can't always teach.
yeah.
So making sure that that team had that. And I think that was a learning curve for Amanda and myself as we were growing the team to find those right people.
Mhm.
And honestly, I do feel like that the team that we have now fits that. They're very hungry. They want to work hard. They want to do the best that they can for the clients. They want to help each other. Obviously, not every team's perfect. So there's always things that we're always working on with them, but they they're responsible and they want to get there. They know
Yeah.
that the more that they do, the more that they can help, the more that they can help our clients get to their goals. They love it just as much as Amanda and I do.
So, what actionable advice would you give another leader who's going through the similar things? And because right now, a lot of leaders, I've talked to a couple this morning that they're in the real estate business and they're trying to find the right fits for the agents to be on their team, right? And those who are hungry, who want to work, who, right? It's happening all the time. So what would be the advice that you would give leaders that who are going through the similar thing that you did?
Take your time hiring.
Mhm.
Have somebody who's like your backup. Amanda and I always interview either together or one after another so that we can get both of our takes. We make sure that our team is also involved if you have that team to make sure they kind of look at skills where Amanda and I look at culture fits. But it's asking those questions
Mm,
that are in your day to day. If this were to happen, how would you handle it? And then asking follow up questions to make sure that it's just not a canned answer, but that's what we found whenever we are interviewing, how we get to, okay, are they truly this person? Or is it
mhm.
something that they, kind of researched on their own on how to answer? And that's when we find our true good fits. People
Okay,
who want to be here, love the clients, love CA, love their team, is when we really dig into those questions in the interview process. And though that process may be slow and we may be meeting that person as quick as possible, we found that if we take our time and we find the right fit, then there's no turnover.
right. Well,
So
and
they're long term.
I love it. Well, and so how I kind of think about that, like as you were just saying, is instead of looking for the skill can be taught a lot of
Hmm.
time. Right? We can teach, we can coach, we can, send them to certain trainings for the skill set. But it's that motivation piece, right? Their passion,
Yes.
their mission, their why, right? That cultural fit, as you would say. That's the thing that you really need to hone in on when interviewing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want them to have good skills, yes. But if there are certain things that they need to develop, you can do that. Especially if they're amazing personality, good work ethic, right? Good culture fit, you can help them with the skills.
Yes. Having an expert who doesn't get along with everybody
Yeah.
causes chaos within a team, and that
Mm,
it's not a good culture to work in. And we want to make sure, I mean, you spend so much time with your team. We want to make sure our team gets along and we can spend all
mhm,
that time together. I mean, go to an outing. We've been
mhm,
planning team outings for the year and making sure that it's what everybody likes and that
mhm.
there's going to be no drama. Being girls, we hate drama. So making sure
Right.
that stays out of the picture.
Yes.
But if you hire the expert, that might not be a culture fit. That could be rough on a full team rather than just on leadership.
absolutely. There's two things that I always tell coaching clients if they're interviewing and during the interview process. One is ask yourself this question: would you be okay and would you have a great conversation if you took them out and have a beer, a bourbon, a drink, or whatever, lunch,
Hmm.
whatever? If the answer is no, probably not a good fit. The other is the one of the last steps in the interview process. We always tell people do a spousal interview where you go, you bring their significant other, spouse, partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, right? Bring them to a dinner, or if you're virtual, have them, set up like a Teams meeting or a Zoom, because you never know, right? Because life and work collide.
Hmm.
And so I've had so many leaders in the past say thank you because the spouse or the partner would have caused a lot of trouble down the road because of things that are happening in the home or vice versa. I've heard a leader tell me once before that a spouse would come into the office and literally start drama in the office, would walk
Oh
through the
my
door,
gosh.
had to have security be called upon and stuff. And he goes, if I would have known this trick of having the spousal interview part of the hiring process, he goes, that would have never have happened.
I would have
Right.
never thought about that.
Yep. And we do it at Southwestern when we hire and bring on new coaches. The last step before we bring them on board is we always do a spousal interview
Hmm.
because you want them to be raving fans of
Yeah,
collective alternative, right? Or your
very true.
right? You need them on board because when, their husband or wife have a horrible day at work, you need the spouse to say, "It's okay. You're going to have a better day tomorrow. What can I do to support you?"
Right.
Right? You need that. I mean, my husband does the same thing for me, right? He's on board with me 100%. When there are days where I've talked for 10 hours and he's like, "You just need silence for 30 minutes, right?" Yes. He goes, "Okay, I'll grab Thad, right? We'll go play. You
Yeah.
just chill out for 30 minutes and decompress." I love like God bless him.
Yeah.
Like, right? So you need that. So that's always, one of the things I always tell people when they're
I love
hired,
that.
cultural
I've
fit.
never thought about that, but that's a very great point.
Yeah. So, because we all have tough days, right?
Oh yeah.
So, how does Kaitlyn stay motivated and keep pushing in difficult times?
Um, I always just think to myself, who's out there that still needs us?
Mm,
There's still people who have no idea how SEO works. There's still people who don't understand Reels and TikToks and all those videos on social. There's
right.
still people who don't have the capacity to take before and after pictures.
Hmm.
So who's still out there that still needs us? And who's out there that we need?
Right.
Nobody's business is perfect.
Hmm.
There's people out there going through the same things that we are, but how
Yeah.
can we help them and how can they help us?
I love that. I love it. So, let's talk about the future.
Mhm.
Where does collective alternative, where do you guys see the industry moving and evolving to? Where do you see it going in the next let's start short term. So maybe the next year or two.
AI is playing a huge role in marketing. We've done a couple presentations on it, and people are like so excited about AI and they think it's something totally new that is out there. And it's truly not. You've been working with AI for forever. It's just now coming into some of the marketing pieces. We always tell people it's not as perfect as everybody thinks it is.
Uh-huh.
So if you're going to write content on it, check it,
Yes.
but also personalize it. Like it's a helping tool, it's a support tool, but it's not the end all be all.
Yeah. Okay. I love that point. I'm actually going to today here in Indy, the West Side Chamber. they are holding like a business forum today, and
Mhm.
it's hosted by T2IT
Okay.
Consulting up there, I guess, on the west side of Indy. And the topic is literally about AI, right? And so, and they're, like, how has AI impacted our industry or our role, right? Does AI challenge like traditional leadership roles, right? Like, how do leaders adapt to AI? Like, you just brought up like a whole topic that so many people, I've got clients who refuse to use AI.
Yeah.
They refuse to use ChatGPT.
Well, and some of it, I will agree with some of them. Like some of it's not secure. Like you
Correct.
don't want to put your contracts in there or anything
Correct.
like that. But like if you need help writing an email
It's
or
valid.
you want to write a blog or you want to do something like that, it's useful for that support tool to get you started. But
Yep.
again, don't have it be the be all end all.
Customize it, people. Customize it.
Yes, yes. Because even then, like you can write said blog on it, but it could be not how your company does it because it's pulling from all these other sources to help write it. Well, what if
Yeah.
your company doesn't do it that way? Or what if that customer experience doesn't look like that? So you still have to personalize it and make it you.
Yep. I totally agree. So I think AI can be really good, very useful. Um, because I don't know about you, but I've like literally had an email where I've just stared at it for like 20, 30 minutes. I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like how it's said. And then when I started using ChatGPT, like it's the same message, but like they just rearranged it. I'm like,
Where it makes way more sense.
yep,
I
it
like
makes
word vomit in the email and then I send it off and I'm like, hey, help me make sense of this. And they bring it
yeah,
back to me and I'm like, exactly what I wanted to say, but it's worded a lot better. Something that somebody will understand.
it's made me more efficient. Like
Yes.
it's because I'm taking less time to think about something, and then if I need to customize something, I'll customize it.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. So, okay, so AI big for the next couple years. Where do you see things going? Maybe let's go out further, maybe that 5 to 10 year range.
So the generation that's going to be into the buying at that point is very different.
Yeah, because it's not the Gen X people like us right now that are doing the buying.
But even millennials are buying now. You
Yeah,
have
that's
some
true.
Gen
Yep.
Z that are buying now. So at that point, we'll be getting closer to that alpha who will be in the buying mode and we'll start seeing betas.
Yep.
So
What
those, huh?
what ages are what years are alphas and what years are betas?
Let's look that up. I don't know. Alpha.
Because I'm the end of Gen Z. 1978. I'm putting my year out there for all y'all. So I'm the end of Gen Z. Or sorry, Gen X.
So
Gen X.
your alphas are 2013 through 2025.
2013
So some
through
of them will be 10 in 10 years, but
uh
some of them will also be like in their 20s.
yeah. My son falls into the alpha.
Yeah.
Same.
So
Yeah. Okay.
what they are thinking, they're going to be a lot more tech savvy.
Oh yeah. He's 6.
So
He knows more about
almost,
it's crazy.
yep. Everything is going to be almost digitally. I mean,
Yeah.
right now, print's still semi big. You still have your Gen Xers that like that. Some millennials still like it. Um, but as we move down, that'll
Mhm.
start. I truly think it'll start becoming less and less. But they're also going to want that personalization.
Mhm.
And that's already becoming such a big thing, but it will be so much of a bigger piece down the road because it will be so digital. They'll expect that personalized experience. Where right now, some people still think it's creepy that, Google can serve them ads that are specific to what they like and what they've been searching already. Alphas, your Gen Zs, they'll expect it.
Yeah. So I guess the question will be for a lot of marketing companies will be, how do we keep it digital, but keep it customized and tailored and personal down the road?
Campaigns,
Okay.
campaign specific. And then there's so many different softwares or systems that you can use to have it personalized. Hi,
Hmm.
so and so. same email or ad or text as, "Hi, Becca," and it's going to be the same content, but it's going to be personalized to you. And maybe even then it's you're shopping shoes and one person is shopping tennis shoes and you're shopping high heels.
Right.
Very similar in some ways, but yours is more about that high heel, theirs is more about that sneaker, and then the names are personalized as well.
I love it. It's going to be really fun to kind of see how marketing really evolves and make things more efficient for businesses down the road.
Oh, yeah, that customer experience is going to be very different.
And I was going to say, for those of you guys who own businesses and you don't have a marketing team or a customer service team, you may want to start talking with a business coach to think about how do you develop one in the next couple of years, because
Yeah.
that's going to be the way it's going. It just is.
Yes, agreed.
It really is. So, and if you don't want a marketing team, then you're going to have to hire Kaitlyn
We would love to help you.
right. So, okay. So, what are some of the strategies that Collective Alternative is doing and using to keep you guys business relevant in such a fast-paced world?
So our team is tasked always to stay on top of any new trending things. So our social media person is staying on top of what's trending, even just like trending sounds,
And that's a big
because
thing.
that's such a big thing.
Yeah.
So we're all tasked with what is changing, what's coming. Even our SEO specialist and media specialist, he is Google certified. So he can get all the Google information before it actually gets pushed out. So we stay on top of Google's algorithm changes, which are
Mhm.
ever evolving and ever changing. But he stays on top of that so that he knows what's coming so we can stay ahead of that curve or that change. Um, so each person is tasked with their own things to make sure that we're staying on top of. And then Amanda and I try to stay very on top of what's changing in industries across the board. So, what's changing in the home industry? Where are our interest rates? How's supply looking? Are they talking about supply increasing? Because right after COVID, everything got very expensive. And
Yeah.
so that was a change that we had to make for some of our clients.
Okay.
In the schools, charter schools and private schools and public schools, all of that's evolving possibly with the new laws. So making sure that we're staying on top of that and knowing that. So if a school comes to us and says, "Hey, we now have to start marketing for students to come to us. How do we do this?" We're ready.
I was going to say, what are some of those rules and laws for charter schools here in Indiana specifically that potentially may be changing that you're thinking of or talking about?
From what I understand, and I could be very wrong. So anybody listening to this that is a
Okay.
charter school, I could be very wrong on how I understand it. But they are some of those small public schools will be either turned into charter schools or those
Okay.
students will be pushed to charter or private schools.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, because there's a lot of rural schools that are super small, right? You know,
Well, and some I grew up in northern Indiana, and a lot of those schools up there were part of that program or will be part of that program.
okay.
And we've already been closing schools up there because kids go to private schools or other schools.
Right.
Um, So those schools had already started shutting down, but there's a few others that are still up there. And they were on the list of
Mm,
possible shutdowns. And then those students would have to then choose a charter school or private school of some sort.
sure. Parochial schools, things along those lines.
Hmm.
Right. Okay. So you're right. So they would have to be like, all right, we're going to market. Like, we don't get our
How do
word
we
out.
grab students?
How do we grab some of these students that are schoolless at the moment? Right. So,
Yeah.
okay. And there's a lot of states moving to that school choice type program. Like I know Idaho, I had a client just text me today, last night and say, "Hey, Idaho just passed the bill. Governor just has to sign it." So lots of changes in that world.
Yes.
Yeah, very cool. So, all right, what do you do to stay balanced and recharge as a busy VP and up and coming business owner?
My guilty pleasure is reading, but not reading to learn, reading just to be in a different world for a little bit. So I read a lot. I got a Kindle a few Christmases ago, and that thing goes everywhere with me.
Love it.
On top of that is just spending time during the summer. I'm at the pool a lot. I love floating. It's my favorite thing to do in the summer. Gathering all the vitamin D so I
Yeah.
can go into hibernation soon after.
Right.
But outside of that, spending time at home. I have 3 dogs, my husband. They are my favorite people to just relax with, cuddle on the couch with, and
Yeah.
just take some time for some relaxation.
No, I love it because we all need to do it, right? We all need
Mhm.
to take me time.
Very important to recharge.
So important to recharge. Last question for you. If you had to boil it down, what are 3 top pieces of advice you would give anybody looking to grow their business or their leadership skills?
For leadership skills specifically, I would tell somebody find a mentor or business coach. Somebody, even if you don't think you need it, it's somebody who you can bounce ideas off of, or somebody you can say, hey, I need to handle this situation. Here's how I would handle it. Do you also think that'd be a good idea, or do you have any feedback? I
Mhm.
can't, in my new role, I go to Amanda a lot with that. Here's how I would handle it. Do you agree? How would you handle it? Would you handle it differently? Would you say something differently? And a lot of times it's not so much that it's a different way of doing it, but it's bringing up other things to help that person feel more comfortable with what I'm saying. And it's ideas that I didn't think about, like, yeah, that's a great idea. I should have brought that up, or I should bring that up. Um, and then staying on top of trends in your industry that makes you that expert.
Mhm.
So making sure that you're staying on top of, like we do, all of those government changes or anything that's changing just in each industry that you work with, because your clients are looking for you to be that expert in your field. Our clients always look to us and say, hey, we heard Google's changing, but what's happening?
Right.
And we can just say, we're taking care of it. You don't have to worry about it. And then just as a business owner for like lead generation or brand awareness, making sure you have a brand that people understand and can recognize when they see you starts that lead generation process. And it makes it much easier to start growing once somebody has a brand that people truly understand and truly get what you do and how you are of service to your clients. Having that differentiator is huge. There's so many businesses in the world. And if you have that differentiator and you have that brand, that'll set you apart.
Fabulous advice, my friend. So good. So
Perfect.
I love it.
Good.
Hey, thank you so much for hopping on with me today. I love every time I talk with you, I always walk away smiling because you're always just such a joy to be around. Thank you for
Thank
being
you. I love hanging out with you too.
you guys. This wraps up another insightful episode with Talk with Coach. A huge thank you to Kaitlyn for sharing amazing valuable knowledge and advice today, and especially some lessons from her incredible journey. If today's episode resonates with you, or if you have a burning question or a topic you want me to cover in the future, I'd love to hear from you. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you listen. Until next time, remember every step forward is a part of your success story. Keep striving for greatness, keep learning, and don't forget your journey is just beginning.